candidate in the last 30 years, though. Am I correct about that? I think that's right.
Yeah, but when's the last time we had a white serious candidate?
I can't
Kane
remember.
Ditto.
Did Kane run against? He ran in '97 against Harvey.
And I don't mean the crackpots who run. I'm talking about an actual serious candidate. No, Kane Ditto, which is 97 or so.
It was 97. It was the year I graduated high school. I remember 97.
Yeah, so nearly 30 years ago. I mean, so
yeah,
he did pretty good considering, but
that was that's the last time we've had a serious white candidate. Yeah, I guess you're right. Now I'm thinking about it, not like a serious one, not just a flash in the pan kind of guy.
He did all right considering, but I mean, it's still an 85% black town, and majority of them are going to always vote for the black guy. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what the numbers show.
Yeah, I think you would say though Rodney was definitely the most serious white candidate since Kane Ditto in terms of being a serious.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he actually had money behind him for starters. I mean, when you raise $80,000, you're going to be a contender. I mean, so he had that, and he also had some black support, like the Critips got out there and backed him, and there were some others. I mean, he did get some black vote. It's just not enough to what you need to get close to winning the race. That's all.
Do you think
Ward 1 race was really interesting?
I mean, what can you update? We were talking about that. What can you update us on the status? Where is that right now on Ward 1?
I mean, they count all the vote. They count all the ballot boxes, and they're at 100%. It says, okay, Grace, like you said, she's up by, like 15 over Jasmine Barnes, 35 or so over Ashby Foote. So she's going to go to the House, right, and with the seat. And then, but we still had 187 absentees to count. And so when those got counted, all of a sudden Ashby went up with a 10-point lead.
Okay, and that's
so
where
he went from third to first, and Grace was second. She's 10 votes behind. Then you got Jasmine Barnes, I forget the number, but she's only a few votes behind too. So yeah, you can bet the two candidates are going to be requesting. They have 10 days to do a ballot examination. They got to give the candidate 3 days notice, so they'll be doing that.
And just to recap, I chose Ash. I said Ashby Foote would win. Shaun said Jasmine Barnes would. So.
Wow. Okay. So you called one race, right?
I said if I was betting, I'd bet on Jasmine. And there was, I thought, good reason.
I was right,
but it is what it is. I mean, so, but we're going to see probably an election fight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody goes to court. I mean, let's see what happens in the ballot examination. If I'm Ashby Foote, I'd start raising some money right now.
Is Grace Green number 2 right now in vote total?
Yeah, she's number 2.
Well, I imagine her folks are going to fight it out too. I would for sure. I think Jasmine Barnes probably, because she's got some lawyers.
Grace Green put $30,000 of her own money into this race, so when you put that kind of money in, you're all in. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna. That was what was really shocking to me. I didn't realize she had that much support out there. Where her vote? Where do you think her votes came from?
She worked her. Well, I just found this out in the last 48 hours. Lumumba's were behind her, but she worked her butt off. I mean, she got out there and door knocked for the last several months. I mean, she was aggressive. I mean, she really was. And Ashby was not the most aggressive campaigner out there. He just wasn't. And Grace was, and Jasmine was. And that's why they did as well as they did.
But Ashby ended up still coming out ahead. Is that just the old school Republicans in that neighborhood that went out there and got there and voted for him?
Well, yes and no, because like, for example, Grace Green took Eastover. She took Casey Elementary.
Oh, did she really?
And that's always been, Ashby has always had 2 boxes going for him, which is Casey and Span.
Well, what I said was that I felt like he was one of the only ones who would stand up to Chokwe, and I think that must have gained him some respect.
He did, but he didn't put that out there to the voters during the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably what he should have done, especially given the resounding.
Voters this stuff. You got to remind them of this stuff. Hey, I'm the one that stood up to the mayor. I'm the one that took up for you guys on this. I'm the one that said,
What happened to where did he win then? Because he came in the most votes. Where was his neighborhood?
I haven't seen the precinct reports. I just got a couple of precinct reports last night. So he won Ascension Lutheran, but that's a very small box. It's always small. Jasmine won in Christ United, which is probably the biggest box in the whole district ward. So
in the whole city.
I'd like to see Jasmine run for something else again. Okay, she ran for Hinds County Supervisor. I'd vote for her in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think she's she's a really good candidate. Really.
So who's the supervisor in that district?
Place for someone like her in politics.
Who's the supervisor in what would be her district?
Robert Graham. Oh,
and he's got that seat as long as he wants it.
That's true. I mean, so Grace Green wins Eastover and those boxes, but with Little Mumba's help, how does that work out?
Well, I mean, they were behind her running from everything I've been told. Last 48 hours.
Didn't she throw
she
some
hosted
sort
a fundraiser for him, and
that's what I was about to say.
Behind her, huh?
So
and one of her little attack dogs is all over Ashby this morning on Facebook. What's the great white father's name? Brett Kenyon.
Brett Kenyon.
Kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because Ashby showed a picture of himself, voting yesterday, which Chalkway did a few weeks ago, okay, in the Clarion Ledger. And here comes this guy, well, you broke the law. We need to report it to the election commission. That kind of crap, Right. And, it's like, I'm sorry, did you say anything a few weeks ago on the mayor's Facebook page about him doing that? Did you actually call him out? No, I don't think so. And then you go by, then he's got a Grace Green sign in his yard. It's like, okay, we know what this is about,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he's been hounding him on Facebook, on the Northside Sun. I mean, he just got it in for Ashby Foot. I mean, he just, it's like, well, where were you when, we didn't have water and the mayor ran everything to the ground? Oh, that's right. You're on his side. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm with you on that. But I don't even know who Brett Kenyon is. I just know him because you and Clay have mentioned him to me. Do you know who he is, Lindsey?
He's got a TikTok following, and my nickname for him is the Great White Father.
The Great White Father.
He tries to pass himself off as the moral conscience of Northeast Jackson.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I don't live in Northeast Jackson, so I don't know much of what's going on in that enclave out there. So you know more than I do.
Oh, and the Bellhaven Fondren too. That's why I call him the Great White Father.
Well, and Lindsey and I were discussing, we've got a new council person in.
And it's not meant as a compliment.
No. And we've got a new council person in Bellhaven Fondren district. Of course, I know you supported Aldred, so did I. And that.
Yeah, I mean, so basically you got Virgie Lindsey 2.0 is what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least he's got a job.
But fortunately, you won't have to worry about him going along with the Mayor Lumumba because there won't be a Mayor Lumumba to go along with.
That is a positive step. Oh, and Kenneth Stokes won last night.
Shocker.
Yeah, but I was surprised his opponent got 25% of the vote.
I should have worn my Stokes hat today.
That's it. In solidarity with Kenneth.
His opponent actually got 25%. I was a little surprised at that.
Did Vernon Hartley? He pulled it out too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Lindsey and I have been talking about the Canton mayor's race quite a bit. What's your take on it, Kingfish? Because that's your take on it. So yeah,
we had an anonymous
chip, but they don't like you.
We had an anonymous source who
they don't like you.
We had an anonymous
6% of the vote. They don't like you.
Lindsey, what are you gonna say?
I said we had an anonymous source last night send us the breakdown by district early on before any of it started to come in reporting on the news, and we were like, this can't be right. I mean, didn't even because at one point it was like, it was even 100 votes, and we were like trying to see if he even got to 100, and we were thinking, okay, hopefully this anonymous source is wrong, but it was not. It was not wrong.
I think Andrew.
Well, I mean, does he ever raise or spend any money? Not really. Does he actually get out there and campaign much? Not really.
He campaigns but he's on the radio.
Okay, and how many people in Canton listen to WYAB? Let's be honest.
I'm guessing 127 of them.
I think you're right.
That was pretty interesting. Andrew Gasser was kind of giving a breakdown of this earlier on his show and talking about this may be like the greatest election butt whooping in history of the state, something like that. He put some numbers.
And it's so funny. Like Chip was funny this morning. He's like,
Tony Yarber, when he ran for re-election, he only got 5%.
Tony Yarber?
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Gasser's not. That's just the way it was relayed to us. That Chip might have taken.
But it is funny though. I mean, it's like the third or fourth time to run, but probably shouldn't run again.
I would think not.
I mean, if you're just registered, qualified, and just to put your name on the ballot and have your name out there, okay. But you probably shouldn't run again. I mean.
Well, Kingfish, we appreciate.
People know who he is. Okay, they know who he is.
We appreciate you calling in. We got to go to a break.
All right. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, man.
All right. Talk to you later, Kingfish. Bye. All right. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here at WIB 103.9. Anyone else wants to call in and give us your opinions? The call in line is 601-879-0002. We'll be right back. 601-879-0002. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
CBS News Brief. There's been an arrest in connection with the bombing of a Palm Springs fertility clinic last month. The alleged bomber died, but 32-year-old Daniel Park was apprehended in Poland and returned to the U.S.
Accused of shipping approximately 180 pounds of ammonium nitrate, an explosive precursor commonly used to construct homemade bombs.
U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley says Park traveled to Southern California in January to stay with Guy Edward Bartkus. President Trump spoke today to Russia's president, but said afterwards Vladimir Putin will likely respond to Ukraine's drone attacks on Russian airfields. Trump's increased tariffs on steel and aluminum are raising concerns that the cost of canned foods will go up. Tim Ebner is with the Can Manufacturers Institute.
We can expect that cost to get passed along to producers. It will be up for retailers and producers to decide ultimately how they adjust their pricing.
CBS News Brief.
Venable Glass is your local glass expert, offering residential, automotive, and commercial glass. Venable Glass can do it all. What sets Venable Glass apart from the rest? Unmatched reliability and customer service. Don't forget, tell your insurance company that you want to use Venable Glass. And remember, you do have a choice. Let Venable Glass work hard to earn your business. Call Venable's Ridgeland or Brandon locations today for a free estimate or visit venableglass.com.
Well, I'm sitting here today with one of my favorite clients, Reggie Bromfield. The first time I believe we worked together was around 25 years ago, wasn't it, Reggie?
I remember that time. My wife, Kathy, and I, we were looking for a home. He sold that house to us, and when we got ready to buy another home, he helped us sell that home and buy another home. So 25 years later, when we decided to purchase another home, your name was the only one in our minds.
601-720-4037. RitaJensen.net.
Social Security belongs to you. You work hard and pay into it. So it's only fair for you to expect to get the money you've earned to help cover living expenses and bills, and not for politicians to use as a piggy bank. That's why AARP is fighting to protect your Social Security so you get what you've earned. Learn more at aarp.org/youearnedit. That's aarp.org/youearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Here's what they're saying about Corcoran Door Company. I'm going to yell out to one of your sponsors here, Cork and Door. When the guy came out here, instead of just trying to throw a door up, he was looking at the way the house was facing. Man, with this double garage here on the south side, you might want to consider a insulated door. I came in earlier today about 2:30. The car thermometer said 99 degrees. The thermometer inside the garage was 82.
That's why they've been around 50 years.
Yeah.
Corkanddoor.com. CORKERN door.com.
Come together.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. Dan said he's so late catching the show. Well, Dan, we didn't come live until about halfway through the second segment. We had some camera issues. Hello to Kip Eisenhood, my friend, Yazoo City blood right there.
Right side, Yazoo City.
Ricky Gray. Hey, Ricky. Oh, so we got a phone call coming in.
Okay, gotcha.
Hey there, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Look, I'm a non-Jacksonian, never lived there, but I have become kind of fascinated in the past few years at how inept the city's been run. And just curious of y'all's thoughts, what are 3 things you think that Horhn needs to do right off the get-go to improve the city? I'm just going to hang up and listen to your answers.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks. Shaun, you want to go first? It's your city.
Yeah. Well, obviously what I would do is my first actions as mayor would be to put my complete focus on rebuilding the Jackson Police Department. That would be number one, because obviously, as we all know, that we have a huge crime problem. And I would put a lot of emphasis on that and what I could do to rebuild that. I'd take the shackles off Chief Wade, which I believe that has been given to him by the Lumumba administration. I'd reverse anything police related that Chokwe implemented that isn't positive, which I'm just going to assume that's 90% of the things that he did. Mm-hmm. So that would be my first step. A second thing would be, this is simple, and I was talking to somebody on the phone on the drive over here, would be infrastructure related. I'd fix the traffic signals. Can we fix those? Because you drive around all around town, they're not working.
They're not.
That is something simple to do that would reduce
places that you can drive that aren't blocked off because of the potholes.
Yeah. I think it would help people just run the stoplights in this town. I mean, constantly, because either they're not working or when they are working, they still run them. And that's just dangerous. I'll work on that simple issue. Like let's fix the traffic lights. Let's make sure people are not running them and getting into car accidents. I mean, I think you could just focus on that. And that'd be a big accomplishment. I know it sounds silly, but it really is something that I think is important.
Yeah, definitely crime in the roads should be the focus. And then also just restoring those relationships that Chokwe destroyed between other members of local government and state government within the city of Jackson. I think that's a big deal too.
Oh, that's 100% right. I mean, I think that's the third thing, or maybe that should be number one, is going up to the legislature, which John Horhn is very familiar with, having been there for 30 years, and sitting down with everyone and saying, okay, what can the city do to improve its relationship with the legislature, and what can you all do to help us? And we appreciate what you've already done for the city. I think he could also extend olive branches to the Capitol Police and say, look, you and the Jackson Police Department, I know they are working together a lot better now is what I've heard, but you guys are going to be partners in reducing the crime problem in the city. There's not going to be any roadblocks on that either. As long as you can keep the AG away from it all, I think.
I was about to say, maybe go talk to the AG.
And then just have a partnership between them and how they're going to put it. Because look, you got the example of Capitol Police and what they've done in the CCID and how they've stopped crime and how well that's worked. I mean, it's already been implemented in a portion of the city.
But where do you think John Horn's going to stand on that? Because he was against expanding the CCID 1020. That was like such a controversial bill 2 or 3 sessions ago, and he was a big part of not wanting that. I wonder if his mind has now changed.
What I've heard about that is that his mind has changed. That's what I've heard from several sources, that his mind is, he's seen the effectiveness of Capitol Police and that he's for that now. And I think that you could just take that model and just see what they've done and how well it's been done in the CCID. I mean, you could see how well the crime problem has been reduced, and just implement that in other parts of the city. I know it's going to be harder. There was less crime in Belhaven, Fonder, and Northeast Jackson, the downtown, than there is in West and South Jackson for sure. It's a bigger thing, but you could implement that kind of policing in those sections of town, and it would reduce
the places that can be saved.
Yeah,
let's protect those before they become South Jackson.
Right. Yeah, and I think there's parts of West Jackson. You look around Westland Plaza. I know there's a lot of crime there, but look how nice that shopping center is. It's very nice, very well run. You could just start picking away at stuff there, and I think that would be just a huge step for the city just to do that. And there's just a list of things you can do. And then once you got crime under control, which is going to take a while,
it's not going to happen overnight for sure.
No, it's not. Definitely not. Then you could focus on economic development, because people are going to feel better about investing money in the city when they feel like the crime problem is under control. And I'll give you an example of that. You know it very well. My neighborhood, that district with the brewery and Rowan's and Elvies and the Manship, and the Manship was there before, but all those other things are now there and growing in that district because they feel safe, because people feel safe going over there.
And those are some things that we think he should focus on. I can tell you wholeheartedly one thing he should not do. When people show up that you don't know and they want to build a hotel in downtown, run the other way. Do not engage in that mess.
Yeah, John. I mean, if some guy in a flashy suit shows up and he says he's got a great idea,
run.
And they want to build a convention, because we know nobody wants to build a convention center hotel in the city, unfortunately. Maybe if you get crime under control and make Jackson this Shangri-La.
Maybe Randy Travis knew what he was doing. Maybe he knew that Chokeway was on his way out and he can go and build this. I'm not even sure what this place is supposed to be over in the old mall, but maybe it'll be successful.
You never know. I mean, and Lindsey, also, this is some advice to Senator Horhn. If these guys in flashy suits say, hey, we've got a boat in Miami and you can come party on it, just say no. Just say no, I'm going to go to Omaha or wherever.
Don't just run, fly far away.
Don't attend any conferences in Miami. That should be just a city policy that he could implement. Mayors are not allowed to, or
when
councilmen.
Somebody leans over and says, hey, they're not the FBI.
Yes, that's another thing, Mayor-elect Horhn. If you were with a friend and they lean over and say, hey, I checked these guys out, they're not in the FBI, probably means you're doing something wrong.
Don't believe them. Don't believe that person.
Or just know that you're doing something wrong if that statement ever is uttered out of anyone's mouth around you, that you need to remove. Just like Councilman Hartley did, where those guys sat around and he was like, yeah, I don't think these guys are up to any good. So he just removed himself. Be like Vernon. Dude, be like Vernon and do that. Like,
Dan White says, Shaun for mayor and service for vice mayor. I'm going to pretend, Dan, like I did not see that comment. Shame on you. Do you know who you're talking to here?
Well, those would be my things. So I think, obviously, the easy answer is crime is the number one thing to focus on. I really feel like they're going to do that. I think that's.
You showed me something that I had not seen before, and I definitely want to look into that more. But Chief Wade has set up a committee or an organization that's focusing on cold cases.
Yeah, he's got some detectives on that, right?
And I guess maybe they've looked into a couple and have been successful somewhat. So yeah, that's something I had not heard about. I would love to look into more.
Yeah, that he's apparently he's got a division of a couple detectives that are investigating and successfully arresting cold cases. The oldest one they did, I think, was 2013, so that's 12 years ago. It's impressive. And I know that's an issue that's really important to you.
Yeah, but my sister was murdered in South Jackson. And I've mentioned that several times, but back in 2009, and in an abandoned lumber yard, and I mean, it was just a very, very brutal, graphic murder.
Right.
Her body was in the morgue for 7 months before she could even be identified because it was so bad. But I'm excited that they have somebody who is actually going to take the time to look into some of these cases and give families bring justice and give family some closure.
Yeah, I think Chief Wade is a good man. He is. And we don't know each other well, but I remember him back around 2008 when I started the DA's office, and he was in that detective division with Sheriff Jones was there. That's how I know him. And Eric Smith, who was killed in line of duty in 2013, he was there back then. Chris Watkins, Derek Jordan, Felix Hodge. There was a group of JPD detectives at that time that were just excellent cops. Like these guys were just like TV cop good.
When was that?
2008 till about 2013 was that whole crew was there. Of course, Sheriff Jones is now sheriff of Hinds County, and I've always supported him a lot because I just know how good he is at his job. So that crew, and Wade was part of that crew. So I mean, they just all came up when they were good officers, and they were led by Eric Smith, in my opinion, at that time, and he's just incredibly good at that. Actually, at that time, it was interesting, Lindsey. Do you remember that show, The First 48?
Yeah.
Well, they were going to come to Jackson. Harvey Johnson was mayor. And the reason was because they said Eric Smith, this is my friend Eric Smith, who was killed in 2013 in the JPD interview room, actually. He was the only detective in the United States that he solved crimes faster than any other detective in the country. That's how good he was. I mean, he was just incredible. And
he worked where?
JPD.
And 2009?
Yeah, he was there then too. I don't know if he was on that Gear system. I mean, there was different robbery homicide detectives at that time too that were on certain. They didn't all have the same case, but he could solve the homicides quicker than any other detective in the United States. So they had a great crew at that point, and Wade was part of that. And I think that is very positive that now he's chief, and like you see that with the cold case unit, that's a great thing to focus on because there's a lot of cases that were unsolved.
Yeah,
they need help, and they're working on that, trying to bring justice to people.
When there's so much crime in one city, it's kind of like, do you have enough manpower to really investigate?
And now I think with Mayor-elect Horhn, they'll get more manpower. There'll be people that are more confident to go to the police department when you have a more stable administration in power, and maybe he can get more money from them from the state.
Let's hope so. I mean, let's hope that our Attorney General hasn't killed that idea, because I mean, I'm sure that there are people who would love to be a Capitol Police officer, but when they see this, they're probably a little hesitant because they don't want to go to jail for protecting for self-defense and protecting citizens of Jackson and saving their own lives when a gun's pointed at them. Absolutely right.
That I think the Attorney General's office has definitely scared people away. Well, not just from Jackson, but I mean any law enforcement agency. So that's an issue. I hope this gets resolved favorably in that direction. That remains to be seen. We'll see that shortly. So
yeah, we will. Well, it's time to take our last commercial break, but y'all stay with us and we will be right back here on WYAB. And we will be right back here on WYAB.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB. Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
The mowing season is full on here in Mississippi. I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. The industry-changing Exmark Laser Z commercial mower turns 30 years old this year and has been redesigned with even more great features you just have to see. We have a sale going on with instant rebates, and 0% financing is available too. Stop by our store and let our award-winning staff show you the Exmark difference. Fredericks and Exmark, over 3 decades serving you in Brandon since 1993.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
Tom's Fried Pies. And I made the mistake. I ordered one pie. I figured, you know what? I'll try Tex-Mex. It was so good. Man, second go around, I ate the pecan pie. You will need a meat pie and a dessert one. Get both because they are off the hook.
I went to Tom's Fried Pies today, and I'm going back. I tried the taco one. Really good. When I go back, I'll bring some home.
Tom'sFriedPies.com.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps. And more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
An American home just doesn't seem complete without that flag hanging from the pole on the porch. And where do you get that flag? In Jackson, it's at a complete flag source, I-55 North. You'll find U.S. and Mississippi flags in all sizes. And yes, that new Mississippi flag is available along with international flags and all state and territorial flags. They can build your flagpole and repair that ragged old flag. It's at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at EllisAutoplex.com. That's EllisAutoplex.com.
Men, let's talk about low testosterone. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? Low sex drive, ED. Are you always tired, depressed? You have loss of muscle mass? You're obese? Maybe you have loss of focus and drive? Then you, my friends, may suffer from low testosterone. Let my buddies over at Men's Health in Mississippi, located right there in Madison, check your numbers today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. Check them out online at menshealthms.com. That's menshealthms.com. Men's Health Mississippi.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Come together right now.
We are back here on WYAB 103.9. Shaun, I don't know what I'm going to do this afternoon or all day tomorrow.
Is that because the Karen Reed trial's in recess?
I'm so bummed. I hate it when they take these breaks like this.
That's it. Well, hopefully you're going to have a special guest on with you in a few weeks.
Yes, we are in talks with someone who has been watching just as closely as I have and who would have just a really good perspective on how things have been done and handled. And I'm really excited about that. So we may kick Shaun out of here one day and have a special guest in here that can really break down the Karen Reed trial with me. I know a lot of you guys have been asking. I've gotten some messages from you wanting updates, and trust me, I'm watching every second of it.
Yeah, I get kicked out when we're talking about a murder case. That's kind of funny. You can think about it. Something that's like the one thing I know a lot about. You know, it's at least I don't know as much about politics as I do murder cases. That's
Shaun's so sick of me just constantly telling him. He's like, okay, I get it.
Well, I guess obviously I spent 10 years prosecuting those cases. Now as a defense attorney, I represent a lot of people charged.
But not a case like this.
It's kind of like my life has always been, a lot of killing.
But this case has it all.
In my leisure time, it's like
this has it all. It's true crime. It's love. It's passion. It's corruption in the government. It's perfect for everybody.
Yeah, I just
conspiracy theories. I mean, you can't get any better than this one.
I mean, when I'm home, I just rather watch sports or Nazi subboat
You're
documentaries.
So weird.
I mean,
Gosh, you're such a dork.
I'm not a dork because I just look. I have dealt with. I can't tell you how many murder cases in the last 20 years. I mean, hundreds of them. Maybe more than that. I don't know. It's been a lot. It's not thousands, but like hundreds of them. And it's just, after a while, you're like, okay. My spare time, I don't feel like dissecting murder cases.
But I know, but you're so smart though, Shaun. So you have great opinions. And I have one question for you. How long to die in cold?
I don't know how long it is to die in the cold. And I will tell you one thing. I do think that the Commonwealth, the state, quote, what they call it, the Commonwealth, has not proved the case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Not even
And
close.
I think if you're a juror, and if you're going to uphold your oath, you cannot find Karen Reed guilty based upon what I've seen. There's just too much out there that's conflicting, and it's enough to cause there to be a reasonable doubt. So I don't see a guilty verdict in that case based on, now I'm not saying she's innocent. I don't know that. I'm just saying I don't think they proved it, which is what matters in my mind. Can you prove the case? And I don't think they've done that.
Do you think that you could, in reverse, make a vehicle go that fast, 24 miles an hour in 63 feet?
No, but I was telling you and our friend last night, my argument would have been that this was like a culpable negligence manslaughter. I wouldn't have gone into like the whole second degree. Well, what do they call it? Like, I think it's like their version of second degree murder. I mean, I just like, she was drunk and by accident hit him. That kind of one way I would have gone with it. I would just stuck to that theory of the case. Now they've kind of just thrown spaghetti at the wall. The state has, a Commonwealth, and made like two different theories of the case, which I think is confusing.
Well, it keeps changing, and it keeps changing halfway through trial. So it's just it's wild. If you're not following it, I suggest you go catch up, and then you can know what we're talking about. And we're going to cover that some more. But y'all, we will be right back here tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then.